So this means we're on. Hi, everyone. My name is Volker Buzek. I work as a development architect in the SAP web/mobile cosmos. And today I'll showcase the ui5 tooling and some community extensions, as well as how to use them with the ui5 web components, or how to use ui5 with the ui5 web components. I only have code, I have no slides. So I'll just start right now with coding. And I'll also shut off my camera because in order to consume bandwidth and save resources. So let me turn off the video. And Ann Johnson, who's the moderator for this, will take questions. So whenever you feel like something is not explained well enough or something is missing, just write in the chat and Ann's going to interrupt me rudely. And by the way, I hope you all are drinking, at least in the time zone that allows that for you. So cheers to you guys. Let's get going. So what I have here is a ui5 application exported straight from the web IDE, a standard ui5 application. And I've downloaded it and put it offline here, or offline, at least local, on my machine. And you can see that here's the web app folder. You have all the regular files in there, controllers, views, the component.js, so on and so forth. So only thing I've prepared so far is I put an npm-rc in here in order to map the npm SAP registry. And I put a prettier RC in here for my preferred coding style. So I'm familiar while I'm coding stuff. Also, I'm going to be using Yarn throughout the whole thing, and I'll explain why I'll do that in a minute. Okay, first thing I'll do here now is I'll create a separate folder called ui5app where I move the web app into. So web app goes in here. And the reason you'll see in a second. So package.json goes in here. The new app goes in here. And the XSApp.json goes in here as well. Then I will create another folder in here called the ui5lib for ui5 library that will be coding along. All the web components are going to go in there. And then I'll init this central repository here. Put the standard npm init. And I'll just say, yeah, everything like so, blah, 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 blah. You all know this probably really well. So then package.json shows up here as like the central repository kind of thing. I also, in the package.json, put a private true. And now this here brings me to the point, because Yarn, that I'll be using in a second, uses the concept of workspaces. And the workspaces allow me to locally map NPM modules. So I'm going to use my ui5lib as a separate NPM module and will reuse that in the ui5 application. In the workspaces here, I think there's an array that goes in here. So I'll put ui5 app, the first one, and as the second one, I'll put the ui5lib. So let me see why he, oh yeah, that's not a string, that's a Boolean. So I'll set this to true. And Yarn and the workspaces require the private setting true here. So that's why I put it here. Then I'll move into the ui5 app. And in the ui5 app, I'll simply update the latest ui5 CLI. You can already see that there's one provided by the web IDE in version 1.13. So that's the 1.x branch. But the most current one is the 2.x. So I'll update this of sorts by just doing a yarn add, and Yarn does its thing. And once this finishes, it's at yarn dot at ui5 CLI 2. Something. So boring thing to watch, but still, you know, this is just Yarn doing its thing, nothing special, right? So you see the node modules folder. Then I'll init the ui5 tooling here. And as you can see, it puts a ui5 YAML right here. And you can also see if this will reload in a second. You'll see that there's the ui5 CLI as a regular dependency updated in here. Oh, sorry, in here. Or, well, whatever. At least it's ui5 CLI 2 something. And it gives me the 2.1 specification version. So that's the most current version of the ui5 tool. And then in order to make it actually useful, I'll add the most current OpenUI5 version. So you can see it uses OpenUI5 1.78. And then I'll add a couple of libraries, sort of a standard kind of a thing. I prepared this because I don't want to type all those library names. It's SubUI core, M, the Fiori 3 theme, and we have the layout and the unified. Now it's written this to the UI5 YAML. Let's take a peek in here, and you can see all the things that we just did reflected in the UI5 YAML. And after that, the only thing missing to make this work locally with my ui5 tooling is modify the bootstrap. So currently we're bootstrapping from the official CDN, and we'll take this out. Just provide it in a very standard way, so all you guys probably know this already. Then all there's left to do is fire off our first ui5 server. And check this out, booted up already. It opens in the browser on my other desktop. I'm pulling it down here. And if I hit the index HTML, that's just your regular ui5 application that'll show in a second. Right? See, it only has the title, so nothing special in here. Very bare bones, straight exported from the Web IDE. Okay, let me move this to the side. Now, in order for showcasing the community extension, so this is standard ui5 tooling locally on my machine. Now, I want to upgrade that development experience with a couple of extensions that make me more efficient in development and that also enable real backend data, so proxying to a backend. And in order to do that, I'm going to add these community extensions. And there's the ui5 middleware index, the ui5 middleware simple proxy, and the live reload extension. The simple proxy exactly does what the name suggests. It proxies my requests locally to a real backend. Live reload is pretty obvious as well. It'll reload the application when I make changes to the sources. The index thing is sort of a new kid on the block. It provides a welcome start index page to the client whenever I only provide the server address. So if you look back here, I had to explicitly call up the index HTML in order to make that domain work. Well, it's off now, but you've seen it previously. And with that index extension, it's just going to show me the index HTML per default without me having to click on it. A little commodity, but it just makes my life more easy. So let me add this. Then all of this is going to need a configuration as well. And we'll just use all the standard stuff. I'll go in the ui5 YAML of the application. And then I have my custom middleware. So I prepared this already. Oh. Server, custom middleware, so on and so forth. So that's the index. It should work right after the compression step of the ui5 framework or ui5 tooling. Live reload, same. Simple proxies, same. And what you can see here is the minimal configuration. The local path backend should map to a tripit service. So that's a standard or a default or a showcase OData v4 model that's also used manifold in the documentation. So let me shoot this one off. Oh, see, it says, oops, there's an error. And the reason being is you need, unfortunately, to specify all those middlewares again in the package JSON. So that's sort of a thing that's really not so convenient, but it's just as it is as of today. It might change in the future. We all hope for that. But currently, you have to actually list those in here. As a ui5 dependency, by the way, so that's the wrong folder. So it's dependencies, and you have the separate option here to go ui5, and you need to go dependencies, and here we go. Ooh, I think it's supposed to be an array, right? Give me a second. So ui5 dependencies, yeah, that's an array right here. So, invalid configuration. ui5 dependencies. What did I do wrong here? That's probably. Oh, see, we already have a ui5 dependencies right there, so I'll just move it up there. Too few screen state. Let me kill this off here. Kill that off here. Take the comma out there. There we are. Oop. Got a prettier configuration. Of course, this is a live coding session, right? So something has to go wrong. So we got the ui5 dependencies going here, and now hopefully our ui5 serve will actually work as intended. Still something, oh, there's a comma still here. So here we are. Now I booted up the localhost again, 8080. I'll just reload it right here. Now note, there's no index.html specified here. I'll just reload it. And because of the middleware, it'll show me the application per default. And then also, as with the backend path, it'll proxy me the OData v4 service at backend, just as I specified in here. So right here. And then also the live relog, whenever I make changes to the sources in here, like the main view, I'll put in a list right here. Code completion, right, in Visual Studio Code, also nice. I put this all, how to achieve the code completion and how to achieve also the JavaScript code completion in the README of the Git repository. So you get, you're getting all of this when you look at the repo. And you could already see whenever I put something in here, let's put a text in here so actually something shows up. Oh, there's something wrong in here. Text, content. Oh, yeah. Closing tag, right? So I saved and the application automatically reloads and we get all the goodies. Now I look at the time, there's 6 minutes left. So I'm running terribly late already. That's why I'll simply, I think, copy paste some stuff. I provided a backend service that maps a list here to the OData v4 backend. And I'll simply use a prepared manifest JSON for that. So we actually get the real backend hookup. So take a look. Whether that worked. Let me have a look at the manifest right here. So we have the backend data source that's mapped to backend. We have the people detail data source mapped to something else that I'm not going to show right now. This is too much. And here you see the mapping to the backend data source with the standard OData v4 settings. And for some reason now this doesn't show up. Let me check where that is. I'll simply restart this here. Now let's check what's happening over there. The operation could not be completed. At least we're supposed to see a list, right? Still loading, still loading. It's showing up right there. Okay, you know what? Before we lose too much time, I'll just boot up a prepared application so I can at least show you how the web components are integrated, because that as a library is pretty interesting to many people as well, I'm sure. So I've prepped everything here in the GitHub repository. I'll show you the link in a second. I'm again starting up things. It's the very same thing that you've already seen. So same URL, same everything. And on the left side now, I hope you'll see the regular XML control list. And on the right side of the screen, you'll see the web components as a list. And in the middle, you can even see that there's handlers pretty easily configurable that also work on click with the web components, as well as, of course, with the XML controls. Now, how does that look under the hood? The most important thing is in the ui5 lib directory, you have a file .library. And the .library specifies what the name of the library is supposed to be. Then you have a library.js file that does the bootstrapping of the library. And you see we have the list and a standard list item here as a library. And then most importantly, you have this bundle right here. And the bundle is a rollup configuration that does nothing but import the web components from ui5. So that's the list web component and the standard list item web component, and puts them in a single file when you run the rollup. And the rollup file lives then in here. So that's just the source code of the rollup bundle. And then in the, so now my editor froze.
2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. So, and in the library file, you require this bundle. And with the help of the bundle, then you're actually in custom control. So that's a list.js file inside of ui5lib. You do the rendering of the HTML tag ui5 list, which is pretty much exactly what they say you're supposed to do here in HTML. So that's the ui5 web component list. So you use the custom control as a bridge to render out the ui5 list tag here with the mode setting, and then you close it. You get the aggregation items that's specified up here. And for every aggregation, you render it again, and rendered in the aggregation is the custom control standard list item. And there you see you have a ui5 LE tag in here. So very same thing as in the web component documentation. And if you then look under the hood of the sources, so let's inspect this. And you can actually see it's the ui5 LE. So it's pretty tiny probably for you guys. You can see this is ui5 LE as the standard list item. And I think the stream will cut out soon. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the very brief overview. I should have voted for the 40-minute slot, and enjoy the SAP online track.
Thank you so much, Volker. And you are welcome to disconnect.